I'll be your guide through the Korthos Island quests this time. So first things first, we're going to pick up the 3 quests here in Korthos Village that'll send us out to the island, and we'll pick up one in the wilderness once we get out there. But first we're going to talk to the mayor. Unfortunately, because I've done them before, we do not get the intro text to them, but that's okay. Feel free to read that on your own time. Come over here, grab Necromancer's Doom. My mistress, Drusilla de Jasco, was assaulted and kidnapped. They were undead, obviously minions of some villain. I followed them to some decrepit catacombs here in the wilderness of Korthos Island. It's at the base of a river inlet, underneath the sound end of a long river cutting through the middle of the island. I would hire you to travel there and rescue my mistress. Does this job offer sound reasonable? Yes. And the important one here, because it's the actual main quest one. That's the end text. No, not at the crypt. If you breathe a word of this to anyone, I'll disembowel you. Okay, here it is. I saw Lars Hayton at the old Cannith manufactory, in the flesh. One moment he was there, and then... If Hayton's actually alive, by Dol Dorn he can help us. Find him. Acquire his assistance, whatever it takes. If you head out into the wilderness of Korthos Island, you'll see old ruins on the right side of the path. Climb to the top of the ruins, and there you'll find the passage into the Cannith manufactory. Right, we will find him. So now we head into the wilderness area. Have to turn this one in. Well then, I could use your help. The Sahuagin have found a great beast imprisoned beneath the island since the age of giants, and they're trying to wake it up. The beast is kept in eternal slumber by an ancient device far underground. The Sahuagin have sabotaged it, but if you can sneak into the underground complex at the bottom of this cliff, you should be able to reactivate it. It's our only hope. Alright. It is actually down that pipe, so we're going to shoot that dude. And then, when his friends pop up to see what's going on, we're going to shoot them too.
Steam billows from the hidden entrance to an underground complex.
Now this first guy summons extra guys to help him. If you let him.
The air grows damp and fetid as the ancient tunnel descends.
We will not let him. There's still extra guys. There should be... There they are. There should be a method over here. Or not. So these are 2 hidden doors. They don't actually go anywhere. They just let you pull these levers.
You hear a gate ratcheting open.
And these levers open those gates, which also don't go anywhere. But if you were trying to get maximum experience by doing all of the breakables,
ratcheting open somewhere behind you.
Can be useful for that.
The tunnel splits here. Which way to the giantish device?
So actually both of these will bring you to the same room, but we're going to show you what's in each one. So we're going to start on the right. In here, there is nothing. You lose, good day, sir. There's actually an ambush. 2 Sahuagin. And that's it. That's all that's in this ambush.
You hear ratcheting machinery.
On the other
Something
side,
in the chamber below you has activated.
this one has a trap. That's where the trap box is to disarm it. There's also a single mob ambush. Now, you can jump over this trap, or you can time it. We're just going to disarm it because we are a trapper.
The sound of distant snoring warns you that you are not alone here. If you're careful, you may be able to take the sleeping guards by surprise.
So we will take them by surprise with a fireball. And you can see that there's a trap here. We also don't want to walk in front of that. So we're going to pull this. And we see that one of the lights next to the door is opened. Now, you can pick the lock to get in. The other way, of course, is you can come over here.
The last Sahuagin guard collapses to the floor. But what are they guarding?
Now, if you pulled both of those, you could also get in through the door. And the third way in is the secret passage on this side.
The extravagant gong in this room looks capable of truly ear-shattering noise.
So you're going to close that off. This activates this trap over here. So you don't actually want to pull that one.
With the gong's reverberations, you hear a slight rumble from the larger room. But then it stops. The second strike of the gong produces the telltale sound of cracking ice.
So we can't actually get down here yet. If you have low tumble, you can take damage from this drop. I have Featherfall on. Kill the guy, pull the lever. You can see that there's a thing here that you can walk on if you don't want to swim it. Kill the guy, pull the lever. And those levers you can see have blue on them. And there's blue that you can just barely make out in the water over there.
You spot a rusty hatch submerged in the putrid water.
So when we come out of it, there will be a secret passage on our right.
You emerge from the murky water with great relief. The air seems slightly cooler here.
If we come over here and we look up, this is that hatch that we couldn't get down. So if for some reason just someone can't make the swim or anything, pull the valve, that hatch opens, and they can come down that way.
The temperature plunges as you ford ahead. The giantish device must be near.
When we open the chest, it's usually got boots, Expedious boots. Now, these have one charge of Expedious Retreat. Expedious Retreat is very helpful early on because 25% move speed versus 0 move speed that you probably have just starting out is a big deal. This guy can be a little annoying because if you're melee and you try to run up,
ahead is the giantish.
You can get frozen by traps.
The freezing mists it is spewing are directed the wrong way. With the right timing, you can get close enough to redirect them.
The 2 jets here do not turn off by disabling this trap. The jets to the sides do. So we're just going to disable this trap. And now we will use the puzzle to undo the other part.
The mist solidifies into ice over the ancient creature, but it's not enough. You need both jets to affect a thing of this size. A layer of ice forms over the ancient creature, guaranteeing its slumber. Korthos is safe for now.
Oh,
Steam billows from the hidden entrance to an underground complex.
I will not be hitting all of the rare encounters and explore points, but I will point them out on our way. So, as you'll see on our left, that tree is an explore point, and that high ground over there, that both houses one of the rare mobs and is an explore point in its own right. You can explore there, and up by those rest shrines. Right now, we're headed to the Kenneth Manufactory, which, of course, each of the quest entrances is an explore point.
A mangled sewer grate leads to an old abandoned Kenneth manufactory. You enter one of the laboratories where decades ago House Kenneth first imbued mystical life. The doorway ahead has been boarded up. Oddly, the work looks very recent.
There are a few optionals in here that involve finding hidden doors and pulling things behind them. First one is here. So we'll pull this, or we'll turn this valve. Now this noisy trap is turned off by that control panel. And its compatriot here, turned off by this control panel. Sweet sight. Now, see there's poisonous gas coming out over there. We want to stop that. There are two steps. The first is the other valve, and then we turn this valve.
As you twist the second valve
And it's
closed, the hissing stops.
You can see we're headed down to this area now. There should be another guard here. There he is.
A magical barrier humming with compressed energy resolutely blocks your path. You hope you can find a way to disable it somewhere.
Okay. So over here, you'll see there are two guys in here, and they'll cast grease, and there's a locked door, and if you don't want to deal with fighting them through the bars, there's another way to handle it. Now, we want to get in there. There are two ways to do that. If you're a rogue, you can pick this locked door, but if you're not, you deal with a little bit of lag as you turn that valve and the door opens.
Icy jets of some alchemical compound coat these humming Kenneth power crystals in a hard protective layer. You also notice several valves of various sizes spread around the room.
Alright, so we want to pull all 6 valves. Of note, these jets do hurt you, and they also hurt hirelings. So if you have a hireling, you want to order it to stand its ground over here while you go about the valves.
Upon turning the valve, you hear a definite alteration in the pitch of the hiss as the gas struggles to flow around your obstruction. Without the alchemical jets coating the Kenneth power crystal, as the last crystal shatters, the hum of power slowly fades into a heavy silence.
And now that the power is cut, you'll see that these iron defenders have been deactivated. Now we can unlock this door and not have them cast grease at our feet and grab our chest now that it is not guarded. Also, you can climb this. Oh, there used to be like a little passage up here, but it apparently has been removed. That was like years ago, though. It might have been removed a long time ago.
Who in the flame are you?
You, what have you done? My protections are gone. There's nothing stopping the Sahuagin now. Stop them from what? They're hunting me, you fool. And you've just cleared the way for them. I'm sorry I had to find you. The people of Korthos need your help. Then you've wasted your time. Generations of my family fought and died, while those selfish wretches did nothing. Those villagers just want me to stand in front of the Sahuagin tide so they don't have to. But what about...
Oh no. The Sahuagin found me.
Suddenly the air shimmers with devourer magic. The Sahuagin have followed you in and are attacking. Hayton's life is in your hands now.
They wouldn't have sent so few after me.
So
Stay
this
alert.
this is another timed gauntlet.
Sahuagin are still blocking our escape. Watch for more attacks. Sahuagin scum! Keep coming! I won't die that easily. See what I have to deal with. Once the Sahuagin get your scent, they won't stop until you're dead. It'll take more than that to put me down. The shield is weak. We might actually get through this. Just hold for a little longer. The Sahuagin magic is gone. We beat them off. This time.
Hayton looks weary after surviving this latest attack. Perhaps you should talk to him again.
Will it never end? The Sahuagin will keep coming until I'm dead. There is one way it can end. If we work together, we can drive the Sahuagin from Korthos Island once and for all. I've heard talk like that before, but everyone who stood up to the Sahuagin and their pet dragon is dead. What about Kaja? Are you going to let her die too? Or maybe the Sahuagin will take her alive. The mountain. Don't you talk about her. No. No. That can't happen. I won't let it happen. Alright. Alright, I will help you. I've been doing research about the dragon, and I've come to a startling conclusion. I've discovered that the dragon is not here of its own free will. It is being controlled by a creature most terrible, a mind flayer from the depths of Kyber. But therein lies the key, and I have a plan with which might turn the tables. I will send Amalgam to meet you at the base of Misery's Peak. When you are ready, talk to him there.
Go now. Tell Ursa to hold the barricade just a little longer. Then meet Amalgam at the base of Misery's Peak when you're ready.
With Hayton finally persuaded to help, the people of Korthos might finally win their struggle.
And we will teleport out. Now, as far as main storyline goes, we could go back and start Misery's Peak now, but we do have two more.
A mangled sewer grate leads to an old abandoned Cannith manufactory.
Two more Korthos Island quests. So this is an explore point. The tip of that aqueduct over here, that's an explore point. You need to go up the ramp over there to get to it. This can be a rare spawn sometimes.
The decrepit catacombs are slightly obscured by the falling water. You enter a musty hall, heavy with silence and the weight of dark stone. All of a sudden, the sense of rot and decay assail your nostrils. Something foul is here. In the corner, you see the glint of metal through some cobwebs.
Hey look, there's a glint of metal.
As the secret door slides open, you see a magical cell across the chamber. Could it be Hogan Drusen?
It does. Now these break open, zombies come out. This is another one that if you're in a party you can split and one go to each side, because we need to pull a lever on each side here. This is a trap. If you go in too soon and you want your party to help you, you will be out of luck. The gates open up once those four are dead. Orange name here. He's got some ghoul helpers. A couple more ghouls come from behind over here. Make some quick work of them. And we head back to the middle.
Cannot be. Jacoby Drexelhand stands before you, not alive, but not quite dead. He cackles as he swears vengeance upon you.
This guy actually hits very hard on level. Even if you've been...
Drexelhand spits a curse and swears to return again before collapsing in a heap of bones. You take the cell key from his remains.
Even if you've been going through pretty easily, he can surprise you. This door is locked, but we can unlock it if you have a rogue with you. Now, there are a couple good sets of gloves in here. This gives you a shield spell. If you don't have the use magic device to use shield wands or anything, it can be very helpful when you're going against anything that can cast magic missiles, because it makes you immune to magic missiles. At last, rescuers. I was afraid I was taken by fell undead. If you can ensure my safe escape, you will have House Jarasco's gratitude. And we finish out. The next one has a rather lengthy optional. It's actually got several optionals that we will be going through all of.
The decrepit catacombs are slightly obscured by the falling water.
So we're going to go up the right side. If you go up the left side, there is an explore point like right there. At least one of those is an exploration point, which you should get automatically by walking by. That head there is an explore point, and the rare spawn ice spider is over here. But we're going to the dungeon.
This entrance leads down into an ancient Cannith aqueduct.
And lots of spiders are going to pop out of the ground here.
Resilient spider webs block your path. They don't look capable of withstanding blows from your weapon, though.
Now, you can see we have an optional to rescue all
The
the
cells
villagers.
in this room hold a number of desperate Korthos villagers.
So step one, we're going to pull this lever to switch the bridges. And we'll come over here, pull this lever, lower the gate on the other side. Or raise it, as the case may be. We got a rare spawn, so extra bonus chest. He's not always there. We pull this lever, and that will open up the gates so that we can free the villagers. Now, there's a bonus chest underwater beneath us here. And the way to unlock it is fairly lengthy. Option 1, as the door is locked, is to pick the lock. If you cannot pick the lock, you can, however, still get it. By pulling this lever, that lever over there, that'll send my pet over to do. Except my pet is not going to behave properly because of course he isn't. We pull that, we see the blue crystal turn on. We come over here, we see the green crystal turn on. And then we open this door. Down here, you'll see there's another lever, and it has a green and a blue crystal next to it. Now the white above it lights up. And you can see the white there lights up. Same thing on the other side. We've got another door here. We've got another pair of levers that open gates. And as you can see, we have a lever. This time it has yellow and red next to it, but they are turned off, so the lever is locked. In order to unlock it, just as we did on the other side, we pull this lever, turns on the yellow crystal, and this lever, which turns on the red crystal. And then we head down here, another white crystal, and the gate is open. Now, the much easier, faster way to do this is to have a rogue, because that door is pickable. Note that if you are not Warforged, you will have to resurface for air during that section. Now we can move forward. We have a Featherfall item on, so we're going to do the jumping puzzle section. Switch over here, we get the skeleton mage
is put to rest.
And a bonus chest. Now, if you drop straight down there, instead of doing the jumping puzzle, you drop into an ambush of Sahuagin. Well, call it an ambush of 3 because there are only 3 that are close to you. The 4th is pretty far away. Now through here, we won't be going in, but there's a rest shrine. If you need to rest, that is available to you. And there is a trap here. A big trap. Fortunately, the control panel is right here. So your trapper doesn't need to like have evasion and run through the trap first to be able to get everyone else past it. Walk through here, kill some dudes.
You have breached the Devourer's sanctum. From ahead you hear a woman's plaintive cry for help.
So we're gonna go through here first. Because Ursa can actually spawn in 2 different places.
The evil cult leader will spill innocent blood no more.
She can spawn here, next to this optional guy. But this time she did not. So she is going to be with the other villagers in the cells over to our left, or to the right as you enter this section. Over here. Kill some extra guys. And we get to pull the lever to open the gates.
The last imprisoned villager grasps your outstretched hand, rising and running for freedom. The Devourer will not feast on the innocent tonight. Not on your watch.
Now we have Orisa, the offender. No, no more. Please don't hurt me. Be at ease. Your father sent me to get you out of here. My father? They told me he was afraid. They told me he'd abandoned me. Not so. Your father loves you very much. He begged me to find you. Now, if we finish, it will bring us back to where we zoned into this place. But if we want to be, say, closer to Korthos, we take this rope. And it puts us here. So I'm gonna... But because we finished all 4 quests, even though I am closer now, I will, for the sake of argument, go check the air spawn, which, as I mentioned, was over here on the high ground.
The Sahuagin keep close
So that's the
tabs
explore
on the
point.
comings and goings of the Korthos village citizens from this overlook.
And I'm just recalling out. So now we're back in the village. Your work is quite satisfactory. Mistress is safely back in her quarters aboard the Sojourner. She has empowered me to offer you one of these items for payment. Bless is okay. One search and disable is probably not worth worrying about because there's better. And an attack bonus, I mean, sure, why not? None of this stuff is super compelling, but it's level 1 loot, so what are you gonna do? Now, here is the actual compelling loot. Anger Step. 2 charges of Expeditious Retreat. That gets recharged when you use a Rest Shrine. This means that you have 10 minutes of 25% move speed buff between each set of Rest Shrines, which means 1 pair of these will keep you running at a decent clip for the next 10 to 15 levels until you get a proper set of boots that actually have run speed on them passively instead of having to cast it. Plus, an extra 3 jump. 1 damage reduction. Some of the set bonuses are okay to start off with. Like, it's nothing to shake a stick at. A little bit of extra mana, some concentration. The spell power here is actually decent. But if it's your first time through and you cannot self-cast Expeditious Retreat, Anger Step is the way to go. And you can repeat this and get a couple pairs if you feel you need more charges. So we are going to grab them. Now, the one that we got outside, he is still outside for the turn-in, so we're going to talk to him in a second. Well, you're taking your time finding Hayton. It's not as if all our lives are at stake. Actually, I already spoke with Hayton. He's alive and well, and he has a plan to get rid of the dragon. He is? He does? Thank old Dorn. Kaja was right about him after all, and right about you. Well, now we have a chance. Don't hang around here. Get out there and do whatever it is he told you to do. Don't worry about the village. I'll hold the Sahuagin here as long as I have to. Now, a little bit of passive, little bit of healing is nice. Featherfall is also nice if you haven't gotten a randomly generated Cloak of Featherfall. You can see even at level 30, I am currently wearing a level 3 Featherfall Cloak. Just because I keep it around to swap, and as it's a utility swap, I don't need stats on it, and I only use 1 inventory space for it, all the way through my leveling. We will grab Thought Spike because it is the easiest to sell. And back off to Korthos Island. We turn in the 4th Korthos Island quest. Some of these are, they're okay. None are, of course, super compelling. We will take the concentration hat. So that does it for the Korthos Island quests. Next up, we have Misery's Peak. Misery's Peak is a big jump up from the others because not only is it base level 2 instead of 1, but it is much, much longer. You'll use multiple rest shrines, probably. So I hope you enjoyed your tour of Korthos Island, and come along next time when we do Misery's Peak.